Hi everybody, this is Judy Parcell again. Welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to make something that's simple, a little more complicated. I'm going to be doing another series of flowers. Not one flower, but a series of flowers, different flowers, and I'll make the scene a little more complicated. But remember the things that I taught you early on. Just simple shapes make up a full composition. So it might look complex on the finished product, but you knew all the simple steps to get there. So just watch me and you'll learn a lot of how to do this. Now I want to start with a flower center, again a flower, and I am going to draw a nice kind of fat petal. I like a little cartoony. Remember to add the petals in between. Now watch what happens when I just add a line here. It looks like there's more layers behind. Maybe more petals behind. So just in doing that, you've made it a bit more complex. Instead of drawing a straight stem down, let's put a little verve in it like that, okay? And bring it back up. Add a leaf. Now remember to do leaves. That one's probably a little bit too big for this flower, but do a couple of leaves. We'll do another one, maybe kind of like this shape. Like you're looking at it sideways. Now I'm going to take another stem off this main stem, and I'm going to move my pencil imaginarily along, because in the back of this flower I want to do a bud. I'm going to move this down just a hair. There we go, so you can see what I'm doing. When I'm thinking about a bud, I usually think about a little cup, because something has to hold those little leaves, all those little petals together before they bloom. So it kind of looks like that. Now that's one flower. I might want to put a little more immature leaf on there, because that's early growth. Here, I think I'm going to draw a tulip. So I'll start with a U cup, just like that. And then I'll put a little thing down below that supports that. And then they're pretty much straight stems. They're not, and they're thicker too than, say, a regular flower. In this U cup, I'll make this rounded. I'm going to bring out some petals. And then I might take and just go like that and bring that petal down, and then do another petal that's kind of like this. They don't want them all being uniform. Here would look like petals that were around the back side of it. Now you didn't see that, so let me show you that. Out of the top of that, I might want to do a little and the leaves here, I'll just leave this down here like this. I'm going to bring up a leaf. Now they have a whole different kind of shaped leaf, as you probably know. And I'll make this one go behind the stem. And you'll notice I don't just make it going, straight up on either side. It's too uniform. So I'm going to bring another leaf up like this, and maybe over the stem like that. And then we're going to use the eraser. Why not? Make this a little more defined. Can't get rid of all of the lines, but close enough. Now the interesting thing about a tulip is it doesn't look like this. And by the way, I'm going to do that like that. I forgot to show you that. You can jump around on your drawings, by the way. And there's no set rules about this. Forgot that and that. Okay. These kind of follow along like this. And you see how you do that? It actually gives it a three-dimensional quality. I'm going to bring that up so you can see what I did. Watch this one. And watch this one. And watch this one. There we go. And this one, you definitely know it's behind, because you're going to stop at the line of the other petal, the other leaf, and you're going to carry this through like this. Then you go, oh, I can see there is a leaf back there. There you go. I did promise it would be more complex. Now I'm going to move this over, and should be 3 here. I'm trying to think what the other one might be. Could be a daisy. So I think what I'll do is, let me bring this down a little bit. I'm going to do kind of an oval shape like that, and then bring the petals up like this. And here's your north, south, east petals. And this one, I'm going to talk about foreshortening, but let me do this first. Okay, so that would be that petal. And then you would go this way. And then you would go this way. And then this way. And right here, what we're going to do is, because you're seeing the centerpiece of the flower, this part needs to get flatter and flatter. And then you might just want to go like this, and like this, and like this. Might be here like that. There you go. And that one might be there like that. But you'd leave that kind of more central like that. Now I hope that wasn't too complex. Then you want to go in and erase the unnecessary lines. Underneath a daisy like this, you're going to have a kind of a base. And you might want to take that one down like that too. And these are a little bit different looking leaves, but just for the sake of it, we'll go back to our standard leaf, though I just know they don't look like this. But we are not botanists, we are artists. There you go. That is a complex composition. This would be the composition. Now, I'm showing you cropped in. I think I'll put another thing here. This looks like a fork. I want it looking like a fork. There. Gives that a little more character. What else can we do to this? We could probably put an additional thing here. And erase that. Not make it quite so. Actually, I would like to take and make this shorter. I'll make this more like this. And in here like this. You correct as you go. If it doesn't look right, change it. Now I'm going to bring this down because I want to emphasize the fact that's the stem from the leaf. And I'll do that. See that? Okay. Now we're going to shade in here. Maybe shade down here. Because I'm going to make my light coming from this direction. Alright, so I'll shade down here. And you're seeing it becoming more three-dimensional as you use the shading. And I might come in here and make this a little bit more shading like that. If you draw a harsh line like this, that'll emphasize that that's the side the light is not hitting on. So I can come up and do that again. Just draw it in nice and deep. This is optional. It's up to you to do that. Now we might want to go bring this down a little bit. Show you the shading in here. And you're beginning to get a three-dimensional flower. You come down, you kind of go like that very lightly. You see, that takes on a very three-dimensional quality. This could probably use a little shading, not much, just a little. And then make this here, and what this does is this makes it look rounded on the bottom. Now let's go over to this flower. How can we do that? We can go underneath here. Definitely, we can shade down a ways because the top of this is going to hide the light away from there. Again, your light's coming here. Okay, so you would come down like this and then maybe just do a nice dark line down the stem underneath the leaf. Underneath the leaf again. And then I would only go part way here. Now if your light's coming down here, this is curved, you want to kind of shadow in here. And I would shadow a little bit here. And maybe a little here. Here as well. You could go in and do this on these, bring them out more. But I wouldn't do much more than that on that. I bring this up, make that kind of cupped under there, let that go like that. Okay. Now what can we do to this one? This is the same issue. You want to make it shaded under here because it's blocking the sun, and here, right there, and maybe just emphasize these right in here from the sun. There you go. Now in here I would probably shade a little bit, maybe this petal back here, just shade it in a little bit here, petal in the back. And you see how this starts becoming more three-dimensional, just by adding a little bit of that. And I know that I've covered this before, but we forget. Again, the light is coming from that direction. I would put that dark here, maybe shade this a little bit here to give it a three-dimensional effect. This is definitely the edge of the leaf, so you're not going to be doing that. A little bit there. There we go. So that's a bit of taking something that's simple and making it more complex, and I gave you different shapes to do. Now to tie this all in, I would really like to have this in a garden. So I'm going to draw some little flowers here at the base. And you'll notice I do the scallop, it's like a scallop, and then I put a dot there. And then I do another flower here, do a dot, and then go out the scallop like this. And these you don't need as much detail on because they're going to be very, very small. And all they're doing is really anchoring these three flowers so they're not floating. I also want to put some tiny leaves on these. Just do a bunch of flowers. These are little quickie ones you can do. You can make them all kind of gollywompers, because flowers don't all face you, you know. You can make them flatter. Take and put a leaf there, another leaf here. You'll notice I'm going a little bit faster. And it's funny, sometimes when you go a little faster, you get these little fancy things you didn't even know were in you. These don't have to be specific flowers. They're just anchoring the composition itself. Shove this up a little bit so you can see it more. I just make those random flowers. This is just a continuation of these, but only much smaller. And because you don't require as much detail, you can kind of... Now you'll notice I'm taking some liberties here. And I'm not necessarily putting a dot in the center of each one. I'm just insinuating flowers. Might do a few of these like this and continue them along. This should probably come down more. It's going to meet that. Moving this right along. And don't be afraid just insinuate, because the eye and the brain compensate for what's not there, and you can trick it. And I just want to cover the bases for this, and so that you can kind of get a feel for what you can do. There you go. I don't know, kind of looking at that flower and I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe I should put another leaf here, because it doesn't look very healthy. And you will now notice I have 1, 2, 3, 4, but this is a 5th one. That makes it a little more robust. This is 3. Let's do one out here. I'm going to move this so you can see it. I'm going to add it here. I want to make this a little more robust, because I'm going in now and saying what I don't like about it. I'm going to do something about it and make it more like the way I like it. There. Now, they look a little healthier. So let's take a look at this. Looks pretty good. Anyway, that's how you take simple forms and make them into a complex composition. By the way, this maybe should be brought down a bit more because it needs something to stand on. Oh, these are so... There we go. Something a little bit more. Anything else I need to do here? This is pretty good. I think maybe another petal here. That's better. And we'll put a shadow here. Do some shading here. Looks pretty good. I think we can call that a finished piece. I hope you can make a screenshot of this and practice with it. Feel free to do that. You're not plagiarizing. Anyway, thank you very much for coming to my studio, and I hope to see you back. Talk to you later.